So I went to the local Home Depot store to get some wood, and unfortunately, I saw this saw. I had to get it. I've been wanting to get one of these saws for probably the last 8 to 10 years, and it's normally a $600 saw, but I saw it there today for half price. Now the model number is the DWS 779. There is another model out there called the 780. The only difference is the 780, the laser on there is an actual LED laser, and this one, it's not an LED. That's the only difference between the two. And I got this for $349 today at the store. It's one of their local sales. So let's take a look and see what we got inside. Lifting it up, there's a big piece of foam. We have a hold to hold on your projects. We got some assembly tools and an instruction manual. And let's lift up this foam. And under the foam, we got the saw. Raise it out. You might want to have the second person go out with it. With the box removed, let's see what we got here. Very substantial base. Let's see. It's a nice looking saw. We got our extension cord here. Some foam we'll take out from the slides. Feels real smooth. I just unlocked the slide lock right here. Locked it into 0. I know that's another safety lock from looking at these at the store. Come around the other side. Looks like you got a little more foam here. Comes with a blade. It is a just 12-inch construction general purpose blade. And it's like the lock. The top is right here. Wow. That is a monster of a saw. So what we're going to do is get our saw and we're going to check the blade for squareness. Before we do it, it's very, very important that we make sure the saw is unplugged. And me, as an added safety, I'll usually pull the handle just to make sure there's no power and I'm not looking at the another cord that's unplugged and thinking it's the one for this. So to do this operation, all we have to do, hold the saw down, push in our little stop, and I'm going to get the blade and make sure it's pushed all the way back like it is, and we're good. So you can use a combination square or a mini carpenter square. Me, I prefer using a combination square because it just seems like it's a little more accurate. What we're going to do is get our combination square, push it so it's straight up against the fence, and make it so it goes up against the blade. Okay? I'm going to look in here for a gap. So, take a look. I don't see anything. So our blade is square to the fence. If your blade's out of square with your fence, it's a pretty simple fix. All you have to do is loosen this screw, this one. Make sure you're unlocked, and then you'll actually be able to slide this whole piece. And you can see right here how these are a little wider. And it's actually going to slide this whole piece as well as the marking edge here over to where you want it to be. Once you have it where you want it, all you have to do is just tighten these down, and then you get your dial indicator and adjust it so it's back to 0. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to check how square the blade is to the table, because we want it to be a perfect 90-degree angle. To do that, again, I'm gonna undo our lock in the back. I'm going to set this flat on the table, not the fence, making sure it's nice and flat, and then I'm going to look in here for any gaps between this edge and the blade. If there are, you make the adjustments accordingly. To make a bevel cut with this saw, all you do is grab your knob in the back, loosen it like so, and then you're able to cut the saw to the left. This saw will also tilt to the right. There's just a little knob in the back you have to turn, and it's a safety, and it allows you to tilt it to the right. To check the accuracy of a bevel cut, all you have to do, pull the guard back a little bit, again with your tool and plug, move it all the way to the left, and then just run a square here on this edge so you have a 45 coming off. And check the blade to make sure it's at a 45. If it's not, all you have to do is adjust the screw in or out until you have a perfect 45-degree angle, because this screw, when it slides down, stops it on the bottom. So by adjusting the screw, you can adjust how far it stops. So it stops either longer or shorter from where it is. One feature I really like about this saw is right here. It's a depth stop. All you simply have to do is get it, flip it down, and then you could adjust the screw in or out by hand. And what it does is it will make it so the blade will only cut so deep, right? So it won't go down any farther than that. And the nice thing about that is it makes it so I can go back and forth like so on a piece, slide it through, and make dado cuts. Doing woodworking, that's a pretty awesome feature to have. Another feature worth noting is the dust collection chute. A lot of times it's just a tube, an old Ryobi saw, that's what it was. With this saw, however, it's a lot more substantial, and it goes straight out the back. The only problem I run into is because I have a wall here, the chute exits here. And because of that, I'm gonna have to put a 45-degree angle adapter on there. For dust collection for this saw, as you can see, I have this intake type manifold here. And what that does is it attaches to my dust collector. Now at the back of the saw, I have a little bit of a different setup. This comes from my shop vac, which is plugged in under the saw. And the shop vac is actually plugged in too. You can see it right there. It's a DGC adapter. And what that does is you plug it into the wall. The bottom part right here is where your vacuum gets plugged into, and the top is where your saw gets plugged into. And once your saw powers on, it turns the shop vac on automatically. And after you turn your saw off, the shop vac stays on for an additional 10 seconds. And what's cool about that is it makes it so it cleans out the whole system, and it helps give you the cleanest cut possible. But you have to remember, when you're using a saw like this though, you're not always going to not make a mess. There's going to be chips flying. It's just the nature of the beast when you're talking about a miter saw. The other thing I like about this saw is that it has a slide lock. All you do is you grab this little arm, slide your saw forward just a little bit, and move this so it locks on. And what that does is it won't slide along the rail. If you're like me, most of your cuts are just normal miter cuts down here. You're not always going to be cutting 16-inch wide boards and things like that. So you don't really need to use that rail feature too often. So being able to lock it in place, it's just one feature that makes it so every time you have to cut, you don't have to worry about this one to slide back and forth on you. To adjust your angles on the saw, all you have to do is simply push this knob, go right, go left, to whatever direction you want, and then to lock it down, you just push this down. It's that simple. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Feel free to like or subscribe. If you found anything you like or do not like about this saw, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.